To start a corner-to-corner piece, you'll work a series of increases. You'll be starting in your corner and adding blocks along as you go, creating extra length on both the bottom and the side of your piece. And then we'll fill in the rest with some additional blocks. Each row that you complete will add one block to each row. So if I start here in my corner, I've got just one block. Then working the next row going up here, I've got 2 blocks. Then working back down 3. Working back up, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And this last row working down, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. The hardest part of any corner-to-corner piece is simply getting started. The first 3 rows are the most difficult. Once you get past that point, it's smooth sailing. To get started, you'll place a slip knot on your hook and you'll chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now it is crochetier's choice if you want to work into the front of the chain or underneath the back bump of the chain. You'll find the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and place a double crochet in that chain. You should have 2 chains remaining, and you'll place a double crochet into each of those chains. And that is your first block. Now I recommend grabbing a stitch marker and placing that stitch marker on the front of one of your double crochets. That will come in handy as we work our next row. Each block is a series of 3 chains and 3 double crochets. From here, we're going to turn our work so that stitch marker falls to the back side. And from here, we're going to do everything that we just did, making a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Find the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place a double crochet in that chain. And then place a double crochet in the remaining 2 chains. So I've just completed my second block. And from here, you're going to go to your first block and you're going to look for the chain 3 that is at the end of the block. And you're going to make a slip stitch into the space between that chain 3 and the double crochet. Just like so. And what that did was that connected these 2 blocks together. I'm going to show that again. So I've got my 2 blocks and I want to bring them up together to connect them. And we're going to do that by placing a slip stitch in the space between the chain 3 and the double crochet of our first block. We're going to go in, yarn over, pull up a loop, and pull through the loop that's on the hook. Now, what can make this tricky is when you're making that second block, a lot of times that first block likes to twist back on itself. I'm going to place this down here. So this is what we're looking for. That first block having that stitch marker on the back side. What can happen a lot of times is that first block likes to flip back so that that stitch marker is up in front. And now it looks like we've got both of the chain threes of each block on the same side. We want them to be facing away from each other. I kind of like to think of it like they're pointing in opposite directions. So again, placing a slip stitch in that space to connect the two. From there, you'll make 3 chains and then place 3 double crochets in that same space. One, 2, and 3. Now you'll turn your work. And let's take a quick look at what we have here. We now finished row 2. We started with 1 block and then we added these 2. So now we're going to add another block on top, adding 1 on the side and 1 in the middle so that it completes the row for row 3. Now we're working with that stitch marker in the front of our work. Another way that we can think about it is when we start each row, we want that tail to be in that bottom corner where we started. So we're going to start the same way with a chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Find the 4th chain from the hook. Place a double crochet in that chain and a double crochet in the remaining 2 chains. And again, we want to connect that block that we made to the one directly next to it. So we're going to make a slip stitch in the space between the chain 3 and the double crochet. So now we're going to place another block in that same space, starting with the chain 3 and 3 double crochets around that chain. 1, 2, 3. Again, we need to connect the block that we just made to the one directly next to it. So we're going to find that space between the chain and the double crochet. Make a slip stitch to join. And then we're going to make 1 more block. So chain 3 and 3 double crochets in that chain space. And that's the end of row 3. Turn your work. Again, we're going to look to have our tail pointing down in the corner from where we started. And we'll start row 4. For increases, you will always start with a chain of 6. When we do this, we're adding another block to the row. Finding the 4th chain from the hook, double crochet into that 4th chain, double crochet in each of the 2 remaining, and then we want to connect this block that we just made to the one directly next to it. Going into that chain space and making a slip knot. For another block, we make a chain of 3, 3 double crochets into the same chain space, and then connect that block to the next one with a slip stitch, chain 3, and 3 double crochets. Slip stitch to join the 2 blocks, chain 3, and 3 double crochets. Turn your work to reset, making sure that tail is in the bottom corner where you started. And you're going to repeat that same row until your piece is as wide as you would like it. You always start the row with a chain of 6, double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook and the remaining 2 chains, slip stitch in the next block to join, chain 3, 3 double crochets in that same place, and slip stitch to join. Chain 3, 3 double crochets in that same space, slip stitch to the next block to join. Chain 3, 3 double crochets in the same space, slip stitch to the next block to join. And then 3 more chains and 3 more double crochets until you're not able to join anymore. Turn your work and then keep going.